Good afternoon, folks. As I promised, we'd sit down and do a review of the motorcycle. So, yeah, yesterday we took it for a ride, and I did mention the range at the end. I wrote it in, but we actually ended up traveling 50 miles, and I had 2 bars left on the voltmeter. And I believe it's 8 bars, so we're running a little less than, probably around 20% would be my guess what I had left in it. I'm thinking I can get 60 miles, but that remains to be seen. So yeah, on our ride yesterday, we went from about 1,500 feet to 8,022 feet, and like I said, we traveled 50 miles, and it was quite an interesting ride. I managed to crash twice, once going up one of the hills that I normally go up, and I know better, but I was being timid because with the new bike and the power delivery, I was just trying to get a feel for how the power delivered in the dirt. And actually, it handled real well. I haven't ridden that much in the dirt. In fact, I haven't ridden in the dirt hardly at all in the past 2 years. Most of my riding's been road riding, so it was quite an eye-opener. The road that we normally go up Poly was just destroyed. I mean, the Jeeps have gone up there, and they get stuck on these steep hills and dig these holes. So I made the mistake of trying to go around it, and I was going too slow, and the bike slid into one of the holes, and I got sideways and went down. And anyway, you probably saw that in the video if you watched it. So yeah, it took us a while to get straightened out because my handguard started interfering with the front brake lever. And then the second one, I was going up, and we were almost to the top, and I hit a ravine. Well, there was a ravine going through the gulch. It wasn't really a ravine. It's I don't know how you describe it, but it was a water rut, and it was very deep, and I just came on it too fast, and I hit my brakes, and it caught me by surprise, and I hit my brakes and went down. I did a nice tuck and roll, and got the bike back up and up to the top, but I'm a little beat up and worse for wear, but it's part of riding off-road. So the things that really impressed me about the bike is just, for one, it's amazingly smooth. On the road, it is just phenomenal. I do have a couple of small issues. One, I'm still trying to calibrate in my speedometer. It's reading about 25% too fast, as one of those traffic signs with the radar readout on it. So that I just redid it today. I haven't ridden it to test and see if I've got that worked out yet. And the other is I keep blowing these switches between my inverter and my battery. I think the problem is it's a 12 volt switch, and it's a 72 volt system coming off that, and I've got the 60 amp hour battery, which is probably more amperage than that switch can contain. So I'm going to try and locate a better, a higher amperage switch or a high voltage switch. So that I'll deal with in the next couple of days. But as far as the riding goes, the weight's down much lower. I don't have 3 gallons of gas in my gas tank. Well, I did have the extended tank on the bike, and I put the 2-gallon tank back on and cut it off, as you saw in the conversion. And I have shed over 70 pounds on the bike from what I rode with. I took off my panners and all that stuff, so that's made a huge difference. The bike weighs 305 pounds, which is 15 pounds lighter than stock, and I have a few accessories on it that, and it's still lighter than stock. So it's it's amazing the power output. And I've been riding it in the eco mode, so I still have more power. I can break that tire free in an instant. And I'm not a wheelier, but I know I can get the first ride I did just out the driveway, I wheelied the damn thing while I was still turning, so it gave me one of those little butt pucker moments and gave me a thrill. But that said, it also made me nauseous. It was so damn fast. So that's hence I've reverted back to phase one eco mode. I don't need that much power. I'm too damn old to be wheeling around. So for those of you younger guys that want some power, it's amazing. It calculates out to 33 horsepower, and it goes through a 2.3 gear reduction on the motor itself, and then it goes to a 3-to-1 gear ratio from the drive shaft to the drive sprocket to the back sprocket. So it's got way more power than anyone really needs. I could be wrong, but I feel like the bike's probably equal to the KTM 500, maybe a Honda 450, but just too much power for in the dirt. And in dry conditions like it was yesterday, we had a lot of cinder and rock on the road, and it was easy to slide around and spin those tires. And going up that hill, the first crash, I just was going too slow, and when I started sliding, there was nothing you could do, so. But that was my fault just because I was riding so timid. The bike on the road, just amazing. It handles as well as my BMW GS did. And that bike, I was able to beat Ducati crotch rockets with it. So this bike is so well planted in the corners. It's light, it's nimble, and it's actually not hard to pick up. My only beef with it, and it's not really a beef, it's just that when you're on a steep hill and you drop the bike, you have to turn the bike sideways and get it up against a berm or something, because your bike's going to want to roll downhill, and your front brake's not going to stop it, and you can't get to your back brake unless you're on the bike. So it's just a little bit different riding experience, because in a geared bike, things stall and get on the ground. In gear, it's not going to roll anywhere. But you don't have that luxury on the electric bike, which is minor. I'd rather lose the weight anyway. And let's see, what else? Actually, the fact that it's lighter too is probably going to be easier on my tires. I won't be burning through those quite so fast. And I'm running Kenda, I don't even know what you call it, but it's a Kenda rear tire. It's a little slippery in the dirt, which I kind of like, because I do like to get the back out sometimes. And it's fun. And then I'm running a Shinko up front, which it's okay. It's not the greatest. It was a real cheap tire originally. They started out about $40. Now they're up to, I could get a Dunlap 606, is it? Or, anyway, a metal, what is it? Dunlap? Yeah, I think it's Dunlap 606. But, they just wear out faster. That's the problem I have with those. And since I do ride quite a bit on the road, I like to have a high mileage tire. That Kenda is a very high mileage tire. I'm very impressed with how long it lasts. So in that respect, that's real nice. A lot of people don't like them because you get in the mud and stuff like that, and they're just slick as snot, and you're all over the place. But I try not to ride in the mud too much or in the hard pan. The hard pan's the one that gets me all the time. Is you know, up at Pulley Pulley we get that just hard pan dirt that turns to just glass when it's wet. So anyway, it handles well both in the dirt and out. I just, like I said, I took it slow and just got a feel for it, but very impressive. I'm very happy that I made the effort to build the bike, and like everything, you know, there's going to be a few little bugs here and there that have to be dealt with. The button's probably the last of the electrical that I have to deal with. I've resolved everything else. So, yeah, I'm very pleased with the bike, and so, yeah, if you guys are thinking about building one, I'd say go for it, you know. I didn't know diddly squat about doing it when I started, but you know, if you've got if you're capable at all with mechanical stuff and you know, fabricating parts, things like that, and figuring out your electrical, it's not going to be that difficult. You're going to be awake a lot of nights working on it, but it's really good. And Electro Company's been real good dealing with, especially Nolan. He seems to know more about converting the bike to a street conversion. You know, the dirt conversion, it's real straightforward. You guys don't need to know anything other than how to mount the motor. But the street conversion, you get into a lot more wiring and technical stuff on that aspect, and so you'll spend a few sleepless nights thinking about what the hell is going on here and here, and that's just part of the adventure. So I'd say go for it. If you got the time and you got the frame, it's going to be an amazing bike, especially if you've got plates on it. Then you can have a street legal electric bike, and for me to get one, the comparable bike would be I think it's the FXE Zero, or the possibly the Saran Stormby, but that's not street legal. So the FXE starts at $12,000 right off the bat, and then you got shipping to get it here to the islands, and all the little knickknacks, you know, like for the battery size that I would want, it would be probably over $15,000, which is a lot of money to spend for a small, you know, dual sport bike. So my suggestion is go for it, because I figure I've saved minimum, absolutely minimum of $6,000, but I did provide the bike, and it's a lot of fun. So with that, I'm going to let you guys go. You guys got any questions, leave them in the comments, and I'll try to answer them for you. Yeah, and the one thing I'd like to point out is I crashed, and all the damage was done to the regular bike. It would have been internal combustion, you know, like the handguard, something I'd never have expected to get in the way. But the bike, battery, everything, I'm pleased with the way I put it together, because it did not affect the bike, the crashes, at all. I mean, pick it up and you could drive it right off. So with that, I'm going to let you guys go. Aloha, and I will talk to you folks later.